This is where I am at. I am excited for more puzzles. So, oh boy, that was the wrong button to press for sure. So let's play puzzle game. Right, the last thing we did was this bad boy, which that felt pretty good. Guy was saying something about a hidden area. I don't know that I want to spend too long looking for a hidden area if we didn't just immediately find it on our own. So I think I'm just going to continue moving forward in the areas I was moving forward in. Because now there's a new area over here with new puzzles and new mechanics and new everything. New garbage. And there's also, I'm supposed to go this side. Where was it? Where was it? The side with the giant blue pillar of light. Because that unlocks this whole area, which unlocks yet another area back here with new rules, maybe. So I guess I'll start with the one that I've already made some progress into. This is boxy. This is bricky. The opposite of boxy. There cannot be a point where 4 borders meet. Okay. So, like, but this has to be here and here, which means this has to be like that, right? So any place where 2 things meet, that's got to be one of these. And then this can go like that, I guess. Yeah, I love it. This rule can also be stated as borders must never make a plus shape. Okay. So, interesting. So, like, this needs to be a region, and this needs to be a region, which means this needs to be a region here, and this cannot plus, so it has to go up like that, so this has to go across. Okay. Bricky. And then these regions, it can't just be one shape because of the wall. But that is illegal. So... interesting. 4 borders meet. Okay. So I can never do that. So that has to be a thing. That has to be together. Here has to be together. Here has to be together. Here has to be together. And here has to be together. So that's how this has to look. This has to be together, and then this has to be together. This and this are separate. So this has to be together here. This has to be together here. This has to be together here and here. And here because of this. So that has to join there. That has to be a new thing. These 2 can't be the same. These can be separate? Ah, this can't happen like this. So this has to join there. And then this joins there. No. This joins there. No. This is all one thing. No. Wait, what? Oh. That's a separate thing. Okay. Yeah, I still haven't quite internalized how this works. There is a lot of, like, clicking and seeing if it works and then trying again. But okay. Shape bank. 1s, 2s, and 3s. Okay. Well... either one of these 2 needs to be joined. This needs to be joined here and here, so that needs to be a 3. I think none of these can happen. Yeah. So it can't make a cross, right? Even though this isn't a region, the border cannot be 4 touches. So either these two need together, or these two need together. Or, no, not both. One or the other. This cannot be a wall there, so these two need to join. Same here. Which means all 3 of these need to be together like that. And then these 2 need to be together. This doesn't matter. Great. Look out. If the corner of a region touches another corner, it will cause 4 borders to meet. Oh, okay. 23? Yes, okay. So the 3, the 2, and the 23 cover the entire region. This has to come out here and then either go up, down, or left. This cannot do that because this border. I think if this goes up, it's illegal, and if this goes down, it's illegal. So this has to go across. And then this can't go here, can't go here, so it has to go up. And that fills out the everything. Great. Okay, that's actually really helpful. I hadn't thought about concepting it that way. Yeah, Bricky has a lot of, like, interesting shortcuts that you can use, and I haven't internalized any of them yet. 1, which means these 2 need to join, and that's a 4. These 2 need to join. These 2 need to join, but can't join there. So this needs to go down to there. Excuse you. I guess this needs to be like that. This could be part of the 3. Except that can't be aligned, so that has to go that way, which means this has to be like that. This has to be together. This can join here, I guess, which lets me do that. Nope. Wall and a wall. Using shift-click to outline completed regions can help reveal contradictions. That's true. This can't work because of corners, so it has to be like this. This can't work because of corners and corners, so it has to be like this. Which means this has to join, this has to join. Except this can't be a corner, so that has to go down. If this goes down, this is illegal. This can't be a corner, so that has to join. If this goes up, that's illegal. So that has to be like that. This has to come out probably all the way, and then this goes across. 2 and 2. Oh boy. This cannot go up, or left, or right, has to go down. This can't be a part of this. So this can't go up like that. These corners. Sure. Except this cannot, this has to, like, cross there. And there also. Oh. Hold on. If this has to cross both of these, that is problematic. So maybe this goes up and around. And then this goes to here. And then this goes across. And that works. Great. Love it. bricky. This can be a wall, but both of these cannot be a wall. Right? That would be illegal. That would be illegal. So this has to go up. Can't go down. Well, that's not necessarily to say it has to go up. It just can't go down. This has to... I guess if it does that, it's fine. Oh, no. No, this can't be a wall. So now this has to go both up and down so as to prevent bricks. And that has to collect that. This has to collect that, and therefore that. So this is... This needs a square. What have I done? Like, that's not... Can this be a thing? Yes, as it turns out. Why did I think that wouldn't work? I don't like it. Something happened there, and I don't know what happened. This wouldn't work because if I drew that line, it's fine because this goes across? Man, I don't know what's happening. Alright, so this needs to go across here because this line would be illegal. This line would be illegal, so that needs to join. This line would be illegal, so that needs to join, and that's a 3. This is a region that must go up. Unclear if it must go up. This could be a region on its own. We don't know yet. But this and this need to be separate regions. So this goes down. That's a problem. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess it'll go there. I think that works. That does not work. Continue to find things that don't work. Yeah, tell me why it's wrong, and then I can correct it. I love that. Oh, now we're making T's, huh? This cannot be there, so these two need to join, which is part of a T. This could be part of a T here. Something like that. But then these two would need to be together, like that. And then these 3 would need to be together. If this stays like that, these 3 need to be together. This doesn't work, because this doesn't work. But with this being here, which is necessary, this needs to be here, or this needs to go up to there. If this goes up to here, that's actually illegal. Because there's no way to get a T into this corner. It would have to be a 1, and that makes a corner. So this can't go up to there. This has to go down here, like that. Which means these two have to join. Which means this has to be a 1 on its own. Which means these have to join. So like that. Now these two have to join. Can I do this? I think I can do this. Yes. Ah, and then it has this cool symmetry with the T's rotating around the center. Shape Bank 2. So this cannot go up or left, must go right or down. Likewise here, likewise here, likewise here. So we've got to do either this or, by contrast, this. One of those two must happen. And the trick then is this has to go either up or down. I guess I can draw these walls, the walls that I am sure exist. And this also needs to go either up or down. And then the more I draw these walls, the more I'm sure that certain other things cannot be crosses, right? Like, this cannot go up. This, likewise, cannot go down. This has to be there, and this, whatever, we don't know. So then this shape extends, which means this is like this. Which means this goes like that. And this goes like that, which means this goes this way. And that means this here, and this here, and this here, and this here. Excuse me. Okay. And then we draw the rest of the owl. That is a cool solve. Actually, this puzzle is very cool. I like this one. I like the way this one played out. 3s and 2s. Well, this could be 3s down, but it cannot be 2s. Cannot be... Could be a 4. Cannot be a 4. Ah. Cannot be a 4 because this cannot be like that. So this has to go either right or down from here. Which, I mean, we could do that, except no, we can't. So this has to be part of a 3. One way or another, this has to be part of a 3. Which means this has to be part of a 3. Which means that is a 3. Which now, those have to be tied together. And that has to be like that. So now this has to be together here. And this shape here, well, it could be a 3, or it could be a O. If it's an O, that's legal. I love finding legal puzzle arrangements. That's my favorite. This is a shape, my word. Well, it can't be like that, because corner. Likewise, it cannot be like that, because corner. What does this mean? It also can't be like that. So that has to be there. Right? This can't go that way. Do I even make this shape anywhere? I don't think I make this shape at all. I think I just use 2s the whole way. That is not legal, right? That has to be a wall there. Yep. Thanks, Shape Bank. Restore the bricky window. All right, now we have some more regions. And bricky is too weird, so we're not going to spend too much time exploring more bricky. Although bricky is kind of neat now that I'm into it. You know what? Now that I am into bricky, maybe let's unlock this bricky capstone. Bricky and Gemini. Interesting. Okay. Yes, sure. This is the interesting part, though, because is that legal? No. Interesting. Okay, so this is also illegal because it's a cross. So that has to go down. Now, this has to extend that way. So we have to do like that at a minimum. And I think that's right. Yeah. Huh! This has to be the same as this. And this has to be different from this. So this cannot be... That's actually not true. This can, but then these two can't. So one of these two can cross, as long as the other doesn't. Where can I start drawing walls? Like, I can't do that, is the important part, right? But either one of these is fine. Ah, this can't be a 1. Because, yes, okay. The important part is, in this corner, this can't be a 1 because that draws the line across. So this has to be at minimum a 2. Likewise here. Which means this has to be a line and this has to be a line. Which means this has to be, this can't be a 2, this has to be a 3, this has to be a 3. This has to be a 3. So this has to be a 3. Going at least like that. This is locked and this is locked. So that's a 1. This can't be a 1. But can be a 3. And then this can't be a 1, so must be a 2. So it has to touch a 2 here. Which means this is the 1. Yeah. The, like, spotting the lines through the windows continues to happen. You're hard to find. Oh boy. Interesting. This could be a 1, or a 2, or a 3. But whatever's happening here, maybe this is a better place to start. Here? Because, like, if I do that, that's illegal. So it has to go like that. Now, if this goes down, that's illegal, so it has to go like that. If this goes down, that's illegal, which means these two have to be together, which means that's a wall, which means this can't go left, and this can't go down. And that means these have to be together, and that is the biggest shape I can have, so that's sealed. And then I can't draw the plus here, so that's got to be a 2, that's got to be a 2. This looks like 3, 2, 2, 2, and 1? No, yes. Sure. 3, 2, 2, oh, I take it back. 2? 2, 2, 2? 2 and 1? As it turns out, yes, that's fine. Love to see it. One. This cannot stop here. So it can't be these 3, for example. Can still be these 3, and can also go down. But this can't go left, because that would stop at a terrible place. Same here. Can't go that way. So what does this mean for us? This can go up? Oh, if these two can't connect, then this has to go down. Which means this can't go left and must go right. Yeah, great. This being part of a 3 means like that for sure. This being part of a 3 because of this 4 means like that for sure. This being part of a 3 means like that, and this being part of a 2 means that, and this like that. And then there's ups and downs in a variety of ways. This cannot be a 1, so must be a 2 or a 3. It can't be a 3, there's no way for it to fit. So it must be a 2. Which means this has to be a 1. Which means that has to connect. This likewise has to be a 2 here. That has to be a 1. This has to be together somehow. Maybe part of this 3, maybe not. This being a wall here means one of these needs to extend. Either this goes down or this goes across. This can't be a 1. This can't be a 1. This can't be a 1. The 3 goes up and the 2 goes up. We'll need to do like 3 here and 3 here. And then we could do like a 2 here and 1 and 1. 2 could go down. This could be a 1. No. This, I think, is illegal. No, that's not true. Because you could have 1 and 1 here, and then 2, and then 1 and 1. Right? Like, 2 here, 1, 1. These can go connect like that. Like I wanted them to from the beginning. So this goes up. So this goes up. That's fine. This needs a 2 here. That's fine. And then this needs a 2 here, and that's fine? Ah, it turns out it's all fine. You'll love to see it. Why are you under a ramp, buddy? Bricky and non-boxy. Okay, so the 3 can't be a straight line. The 3 has to be an elbow. This 3 has to be an elbow as well. And the only nope, there's 2 elbows that fits. Either up here or up here. But this has to be a region together, so the 3 can't be a part of that. And also, this cannot be boxy. So it needs to come out and go to the right at some point. This is illegal. This is illegal. This is all part of the 5. Can't go there. There. That's the 5. This and this are illegal. It needs to extend out somewhere eventually. That goes there, and it can't go up, so it's got to go left. Which means this has to connect to there. This is illegal. This is illegal. This is fine. This is illegal. This is illegal. But that means it can't connect to... It can go left. Oh, but this is illegal. Something is very wrong here. Oh, these 2 can connect. And this can go left if it needs to. It does need to. I've already determined it needs to. Ah, and then I can draw the rest of the owl. No! I cannot draw the rest of the owl! I might be able to draw the rest of the owl. Alright, Bricky. You're fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. Huh? Okay, so these are walls. I guess let's draw all the walls. Here. No. Here. And then we can determine where things can't go. Like, this cannot go left or down. This can't go up. These have to join. This has to come out there. This has to come out like that. This has to come out like that. This has to come out like that and might join here. We don't know yet. This cannot seal off that way. There's no, like, non-boxy or anything, so that's fine. So this 3 can either go across or down. Cross is dangerous. Down is a lot less dangerous. Oh, these 2 have to be part of a region here. Those 2 have to be together. This needs to grab that. Which means these 2 need to be part of the same region. There is room for... This has 1. This has 3. Kind of want to have that be like this. It doesn't have to, but I kind of want it to. All right, what does this mean for like the 2s and 3s? This needs to join. So this probably joins left or right. One or the other. Where else do we see, like, shenanigans? Here. We don't yet know if these join. But these joining or not dictates where this 2 has to go. either vertical or horizontal. Like if these two join, I guess this could still be horizontal if these two join. But if these two don't join, this can't be vertical. I'm still stuck on these corners. Because like this can't go like that, right? But it doesn't have to go to both of these. It only has to go to one of these. Which, like... Oh, this has to be like that. That's something. Ugh. How many 4s are in this region? 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 4 4s. Yeah, the moment I figure out any one of these 2s, the rest of them fall into place. Because there's only so many configurations that exist here. Does this work? Does that cause problems? Unclear. Does that cause problems? Likewise, unclear. Man, some 3s are instant and some 3s take forever. These 2 have to join also. That was the thing I missed. So that's a thing. That's a thing. These 2 have to join. This cannot wall here. But it was never going to anyway. If this 3 goes here, that requires 3 here. Right? And then you do something like this, I guess. Which seems fair? Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna draw the owl. These 2 separating means this needs to be together. Which is illegal, so these have to join. This cannot cross, so this has to join there. Great. I'm glad that worked. That has to be a wall, so this is a 4. This is a 3 of some kind. Those don't have to be walled off. This does. As does these. Which means this can't be up here. So these have to be together. And these have to be together. So that's what this is. And these have to be together. So that's what that is. And then these have to be together. Oh, alright, alright. And then these have to be together. What's up, Shadowed Mage? Yeah, lots of squares. This is a very squarey board. These join. So these join. These join. So these join. Oh. What does this mean for me? This can't be a 1. So this has to be part of a 2 or a 3, which means it has to be part of a 2. This has to be part of a 2. This has to be part of a 2 or 3. This has to be part of a 2 or 3. This has to be a 1 on its own, actually. So now this is illegal, and this is illegal. So this has to be a 3. Should have started with this. So these need to join, which makes this a 2. These need to join here. These need to join here. That's that. These now need to join. So these need to join, and these need to join. Got him! Ones and 2s, huh? So this is part of a 2 here. This is part of a 2. This is part of a 2. This is part of a 2. Every corner is part of a 2. And this cannot be straight down. So it has to be either this one or this one. If it's this one, I think it's illegal. Because then we have to have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, this can't go down. This can't seal off a single row. So this has to go up like that. You gotta connect, please. Now that has to be a 1, so this has to be a 2 here, and then we can have 1 and 1. Great. What is happening here? Is that legal? 1, 2, looks like it. Yeah. Is indeed. It's so legal. Huh? Oh, okay. So now I have to figure out where my 1 can go such that it doesn't wreck anything. Can't be here or here. Can't be in any of the corners. Can't be in any of the 48s. Right? Can't be in any of the corners. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cannot be corners here. So it's exactly this spot. What a fascinating puzzle. Okay, yeah, no, that works. That works. Does indeed create a valid puzzle. Oh, and then there's this little boy hiding away in the corner. What do you think you're doing, buddy? Oh, okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. Is that legal? Guess this could go like that, maybe. Sure. neither this nor this can be spots away. So, like, this needs to either go up or left. This need, oh, here, these need to join. I guess it could go like that. Oh. This is a problem. So we're already boned. Alright. Cannot just fill stuff in. So let's figure stuff out. Each of these spots cannot be sealed off. So they need to go either up or, like, either, you know, one of the two directions or both of the directions. Right? This can't seal off this way, actually. Maybe this is it. And it can't seal off this way. So it cannot be a corner like that. And it cannot be a corner like that. So it has to... And it can't be just an edge. So it has to corner either like this or like this. What does that mean? That means either it's this shape or it's this shape. If it's like this, this goes up, that goes that way, this goes this way. So that's this, which is illegal. So it's got to be this shape, is what I'm hearing. So this has to go here, this has to go here, this has to go here. And then this has to be that, this has to be here, this has to be here, and that looks illegal as well. Oh, I guess I could do like this and then this up like that. That checks out. This needs a shape. This needs a shape. This is either going down, so it has to go down this way. This now needs a shape there. And then this needs a shape here, which could be this, actually. Could be like that, and then like this, and that looks illegal. This cannot be like that, because that is too long down here. So it has to be 3 across and then down here, which means this needs to connect here. And then we can draw the rest of the owl. Yeah, great. Oh. Can we use this big shape anywhere? It can be exactly here or exactly here. It can't be here. This is illegal. Can it be here? If it can't be there, then we have to fill in with these, which is like that. Oh, but then it can fill in here. As long as... Yeah, we need a thing crossing there, right? Like that. Which does work, actually, because then we can fill in the rest of it. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh. 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 Palisade. Oh. Also solitude. Fascinating. Well, it can't be like that, nor can it be like that. So... has to be exactly that? No, but there has to be a wall there. Wait. Okay, if it's going left, it's illegal. If it's going up, it's illegal. If it's going right, it's illegal. So it has to go down, exactly. This needs to be part of this, and it cannot seal there. So it has to steal there. Solitude is going to be a mess here. That's not legal. That's not legal. That's not legal. So this has to be exactly that. Interesting. All right, now we got to figure out where these three regions connect such that they don't brick. This doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but I know every puzzle has a unique solution, and there's a lot of space in this puzzle. Are there other places where we know stuff has to connect? What if I just sealed all of these off? Oh. Right, those have to connect out there that way. But, like, what if I just sealed this off? Oh, but this can't be part of that. Ah. Yes, okay. So this region can't be part of this. And this region, which has to be part of this region, can't be part of this. So this has to be a part of this. And it can't go through here. So this has to happen thusly. There we go. There we go. Figured it out. Oh my god. Decade of Splendor. Turn 10 windows silver. Cool. Alright. This is an interesting doorway. Doorway into nothing. Maybe? No, it was good. It was good. It broke your brain. Man. Yeah. Figuring out, like, the key was just realizing that regions on the other, like, cells across walls can't share a region. So you have to have the other regions coming out far enough that they can take those cells away from the other regions. If I can remember which one I just did, I can get back into it and kind of show you what I mean. This one, I think. No. Which one was it? Which one was it? Was it this one? Yeah. Okay. So, if I undo all the way back to kind of the starting point, so you can see what I mean, right? The deal here is, this square cannot be part of this region. But it does need a symbol, so it can't be a square on its own. So it has to come out to here. Which means it can't be a part of this region either. So these two have to be a part of this region. They can't go through here, though, because these cells have the same problem with being part of this region, right? So this can't connect to that, and also can't connect to this. So this has to come out all the way here at minimum in order to touch another region, right? Which means this has to go out this way in order to touch another region. And then they just have to snake around each other the whole way around in order to connect to the places they need to connect to. It's actually really cool once it comes together, but it did require a little bit of a leap. Not a leap so much as like a specific way of thinking about how the puzzles solve. All right, I have unlocked a 6. Let's go. Oh my god. Not a 6, not a 16, a 6. But yes. All right, well that needs to be a 4, so that's cool. This can't be a 1, so it needs to be a 2. this needs to join and this needs to join. And this can't be a 4, so it needs to be a 3. So that needs to be a 1. These two need to join, which mean they're a 4. There's no 7s anywhere. Don't you dare. This needs to do this almost assuredly. And then these need to join. So that's cool. Indeed. Alright. Let's see. This can't be a 1. So it needs to be a 2 or a 3. Because it can be a 3 like that. It can be a 2 like that. It can be a 2 like that as well. No, it cannot be a 2 up. So it can be a 2 down. Or if it's a 3, it's got to be a 3 like that. So at minimum, it's these 4 together. And it's not going up. So that's happening. Which means that has to happen as well. These have to be a thing. These have to be a thing. And in order for that, now they have to be squares. So they end like that. This has to be a thing. So it has to be a square. And it can't be a 3 because the regions don't allow. Oh. Distressing. A flaw has occurred. This can't be a 2 like that. Nor can it be a 3 like that. Problems. I see the problem. This could be this instead of going down. So we could do that instead. And then I don't know about these yet, but I can't wall this off into like a 1 or a 2 or a 3 like that. So this needs to be a part of a 2. And it could be like that. Or it could be like that. It can't be like this because that seals too many things. That makes corners here. So this has to be this. This might still be a 3x3. But must at least be a 2. This has to be a 2. This has to be a 2. This cannot be a 1 here, so this has to be a 3. This can be 1, 1, and then a 2 here. Or it could be a 2 here, but these two, regardless, need to be a 2 together. This can't be a 1. Can it? 1 and 1? Ah. Yeah, if this is a 1, then this needs to be together, and also this needs to be together, which it can't. So this can't be a 1, so it has to be the 2. Which means these need to connect. Yeah, exactly what I thought was going to happen. These needed to be 2 1s, so the 2s need to be 1 over. Yeah. This cannot be a 3 here. So that's going to have to change. We'll have to come back to this. This is at minimum a 3, and it might be just the full 4. If it's the full 4, then this is a 1. And this needs to join, so that needs to be a minimum of 2. And then it can't be 1, 1, 1, so this can't be a 2. This would have to be a 3. We can lock in all of these. And then this could be like 1, 1, and a 2. And that seems like it works. That seems like it works. So if I do this, now these need to connect. And then there. And then this needs to be the 2. Hey! Heck yeah. Nice, clean 6. All right, we have 2 opposing new regions to get into. 1 chaining from Boxy, or Bricky, and 1 chaining from, what was the mechanic here? Inequality? Mechanic here was inequality. Which I guess is the opposite of Bricky somehow? I don't know. Maybe it's just 2 different regions with 2 different mechanics and no real relation between them. Alright, let's look at this one first. 1. Difference. Indicates the difference between the areas of the region. So this has to be a 2. And this has to either be a 2 or a 4. So this being a 3 has to be that exactly. This being a 2 now has to be that. This can't be a 4, so it has to be a 2. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. This is either a... This can't be a 3, because that's not 2 away from a 3. So this has to be a 5. Which means we now have 4 coming out, 5 coming out, so the 4 has to look like that. That's a 3. It has to be like that and like that. Well, this is the same as this. This is a 1, so this is a 2. This is 2 away from a 1, so a 3. 3 away from a 1, so a 4. Which means this is a 2 like that, because it can't touch the 3. If this is a 2 and this is a 0 away from a 2, this is a 2. Which is 2 like that. I don't think this can be a 0, so I think it has to be a 4. This is a 1, so this has to be a 2. Yep. Oh boy. 5. So this is a 4 or 6. This is a 3 or 7. This is at minimum a 4. It can't go up. And if it goes across, it can't reach 6. So this is exactly a 4. This is either a 2 or a 6 now. But in either case is not part of the 5. Likewise, that's not part of the 5. So that's that. So this is sealed off there. If this is a 2 like that, that's not 1 away from a 5. So this needs to be a 6. This needs to be a 4. There's not enough room for this to be a 7, so this has to be a 3. Perfect. Fascinating. This is neat. Hey, Luchacas, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Oh, these are some numbers. Okay, so 4 and 3. So this is either a 2 or a 6, which means in either case, there's a wall here separating there. So now this could be 3 from a 2 would be 5. 3 from a 6 would be 3 or 9. But the only one of these that is 2 away from a 3 is a 5. So this is exactly a 5. So this is a 5 here. And that means that this is locked into being a 2. Yeah? Yeah. Alright, and then this is now solvable. That's a line. This comes out. The 4 needs at minimum this, so the 5 needs to come out. These two can't touch, so this 5 needs to escape. In order for this to fit, it has to be 3 and 5 and 5 and 4. Alright. Alright, I'm into this. I like drawing numbers. Been looking for a while. Bricky mechanic was a headache. Oh, the bricky mechanic was a headache for me too. It took a while for that to get even as close to intuitive as it got to for me. And I don't know that I'll ever be like comfy with it, but yeah, it took a bit of time to get to the point where I could like reasonably solve them. Lint chocolate gold bunny. Yo, that sounds delicious. I want chocolate. I wonder if I can still get cookies this late at night. I probably can. It might be midnight cookie run when stream ends. But yeah, thank you very much, Luchacos. That makes me feel good to hear that. Like I am I am glad that I am doing a good job of explaining my thought process and explaining the puzzle mechanics. Because that is where I want to be. Oh boy. Okay, well, at minimum, this 4 needs to come out to here. So these two are either 3 or 5. Which, yeah, so one of these is a 3 and the other is a 5 because of the 2, but I don't know which yet. This, then, is either 2 or 4 or 6. Which means it can't be, this can't be part of the 4, actually. This has to be a 1. Which means this has to be exactly the 2. Which means this has to be the 3. Which means this has to be the 5. Cool. So 2 gets solved that way. 4 needs to get solved that way. 5 comes up. 3 comes up, and that's the puzzle. Sometimes shift-clicking ends the puzzle when I'm not ready for it. Which is what happened here. I'm like, oh yeah, the 3 comes up here, and then I have to draw the 5. But if I shift-click the 3, everything is divided up into its actual, like, required regions. So this just solves the puzzle in a way that I wasn't expecting it to. Keeps happening. Get jump scared by solutions. Oh boy. Okay. Wild. 4 difference? So 4 difference here is a big deal. But the most this could be is a 4. Because it can't take this spot across from the region. So this can't be higher than this. This has to be lower than this, whatever this ends up being here. So this. These two, no, yeah, these are all different. They cannot be part of the same region. So actually the biggest this could be is a 5. Which works, because then this is a 5 and this is a 1. So if this is a 5, this is either a 2 or an 8. So it's a 2. So this can't be a 0, so it's got to be a 4, which is exactly the space it has available. So this is a 3, and this is a 3, and this is a 2. There we go. Wow, that was really intimidating at first, but it came together pretty decently. What? We have 20 spaces to work with. This has to be 2 different things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have to be 2 different things. So what I'm seeing, also because of the differences, is there's going to be one giant region and then a bunch of smaller ones. So if that's a 1, a 1. Concerning. Because if it's one giant region, and the other side of the walls are all different regions separate from it, then you have -9 could be a 1, -8 could be a 2, -7 could be a 3, purely for the sake of argument. Which means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which does actually math out perfectly. So then this is a 1. This is a 3. Which tells me this is a 3 here. This is a 2 here. And this is a 1 there. Yep. Great. Yeah, great. Nice. That actually came together really cleanly. Thought that was going to be more irritating. Something is back here. God, sneaky. That's a lot of symbols. It's a lot of symbols. I don't think it's a problem, but it is a lot of symbols. $56. All right, well, this is there. So we've got that at least. This is 1, so that's got to do that at minimum. Looks scary until I figured I could only be a 10. Yeah. Alright, the rest of these now are a little bit trickier. This has to have the same region size as this, minimum 3. It's distinctly possible that what I'm looking at for this puzzle is exactly 2 regions, both of size half of 56. 28, 28. Both of size 28. Yeah, this doesn't have the singularity rule, so there's no rule that requires that each palisade be its own region. But also, there's a bunch of ways that stuff can fit together, like these two could be a region on their own. These two could be a region on their own. The buckets, the U's, just facing toward each other. A lot of different ways for stuff to fit together here. Like for this one, if this wall is here, for example, then it's got to go like that, and then this has to be a wall. Is that a problem? I don't know. Maybe. Man, I'm not exactly sure how else to start this. I guess here is either a wall here or a wall here. Because if it's a wall here, it connects up to this, which is like, is that bad? I don't know. But these two are different regions. Ah, okay. These two are different regions. And this region has to be bigger than 1, because it connects to something because of the palisade. So this region has to be bigger than 1, so it has to connect to this palisade, which means that we can't draw the wall here, we have to draw the wall here, or this connects up. These can't be the same region, that has to be there, so that has to connect up to here. And now this has to be minimum 5, maybe more, we don't know, but minimum 5. So it has to connect to some of these other palisades. If it connects up, that actually checks out, right? Drawing the wall here and here. If this connects to this, then the wall is here and here. So regardless, the wall is here. No, that's not true. Because if it connects here, then the wall is here. Connects in here, then the wall is here. So it's exactly opposite. I can't actually draw anything here. This cannot connect up or left. Those have to be walled off. And this has to be not part of this pink. This has to be either orange or different. If this connects here, it's actually sealed off. Like, can't connect to here, can't connect anywhere else. So it can't connect to here. So it has to go like that. And then can't connect down, so it has to connect across. That's sealed off. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means this has to connect there, and then draw the line there, and then connect there. So this is what that is. Ah, yeah, which means this is actually its own sealed thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this has to come up to here. And now this is not 7. It's at minimum 9. So this needs at least 2 more. Which could be up and right. But it's definitely right. This could be up here. Oh, this is... Ah, I forgot about how these corners work. That's known. That's known. Because they always connect up off of the wall edges. Oh man, I forgot about... It's been too long since I looked at Palisades. Okay, so this has to connect here, regardless. Which means it can't connect this way, so this has to seal off. Now this is 10, so this is going... 2 of these 3, it can't go down. Oh, so it's going that way exactly. Which means that seals off. And that seals off. So it goes up, which means this region is locked at 10, and this is 10. So this is also locked. Whoa! Progress! Okay, so this region here, we know is minimum 3, but because of these buckets, is maximum 5. So this connects somewhere. Oh, this is a 10, so this is also a 10. Whether or not it connects right, it definitely connects through here. If it's going to connect right, it can't connect there. But if it goes down and right, then it's sealed. At much less than 10. So it needs to go down through here. Like that. Which means it can't touch this. And also can't touch this. If it touches this, it's another 4. This is sealed here, so that goes that way. Which means this can't go up or right or left, so this has to go down. Which means that's sealed off. This doesn't need to be filled in. It'll be filled in later. But this connects down. These two can't connect now. So this has to connect here. And this is getting at least 2 more off of this. Does this connect up? This could connect up, and then this would require 5. If it connects left, it can grab this for 3. And if it goes up, it would have to connect to this for 1,000,000. So it cannot go left and up. It can go left and left, or it can go up. I guess we'll figure that one out later. If this goes right, 7, 8, 9. Is gonna have to go 10. Because we can't have a 10 over here. There's just no room. So this cannot touch either of these two. So it has to get its remaining 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. And this one prevents it from getting to this one. So it has to be exactly this. Which means this connects there, and this needs these. So this is a 1, and this is a 1, and this connects together. Oh! Wow. That's a cool one. That took a lot of connecting things. That was neat. Did I resolve you already? No. Okay, let's go. Let's go, let's go. 3. This is interesting. Lots of 3s out here. And then other 3s. And then Palisades with 3. And also it's difficulty 3. I'm sensing a theme for this puzzle. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about difficulty 3. I'm not entirely sure that the difficulty is necessarily accurate. But given the rest of the puzzle, it has to be labeled difficulty 3, so I understand. Let's see. Can this connect to here? It can, right? It would be like that. And then this would be a 2. So this is either a 2 or a 1 here. There's no way for this to be anything else. Either it's a 1 on its own, or it connects to this and is a 2. Which means this is either a 4 or a 5. Which means regardless, it can't touch this 3. So this 3 is like this. Which means this is a 6. Which can go right for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 3 or a 9. I have my own suspicions. I think it's likely to be the 3. But you never know. You never know. In fact, it has to be exactly the 3 because of the Palisades. It can only go right, which seals off this Palisade. And it can only go down, which seals off this Palisade. So it has to be exactly a 3. Okay, draw the 3, please. Gross. Try again. So this 6 can go up for 1 more. Has to go at least here. This has to connect to something. Can connect down, can connect right. Oh, so now this one, once again, we're in the same position. Of this is either a 1 or a 2. So this is either a 4 or a 5. And no matter what, doesn't connect here. And needs to come out here. And now this 3 can't connect here either, so this 3 has to do that. 2, 3, 4, 5. So whichever one of these it takes depends on how big this is, which we don't know yet. Well, the biggest this can be is a 4, so I guess this is figured out. That's a 4, that's a 1. Yeah, sure not being a 9, yeah. So this is either a 1 or a 2. If it's a 2, the 6 is an unresolved, so this has to be the 1. Which means that connects there. So this has to be a 4. Which means this is now a 1 or a 7. And it's sure not being a 7. And this either goes right or it goes down, but either way that ends up being a 4, so that's fine. This is either a 1 or a 3, so this is either a 4 or a 6. And it's not touching either of these 3s, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a palisade, so it's exactly a 4. So that's separate. So that 3 is like that. This is grabbing this and then one of these 2, unclear. If it goes up here, this has to be a 6, which it can't. So this has to be here. If it goes there, it can't take this, which is only 5. So it's got to be like that. Ah. Something has gone terribly wrong. Something has gone terribly wrong. Oh no. Something is a disaster. All right, well, let's do some rewinds until we figure out where I made a mistake. I think it was there. Like, if this touches this, this is now a 3, this needs to be a 6. As it stands here, this, yeah, nothing's different here. And then if this tabs that, yeah, okay, so it's not there. I might just need a full restart. I'm not sure where things went wrong here. All right, starting from scratch. Regardless of what this is, that's walled off. Because this is not going to be part of a 6. So this has to be that. So this is a 6. Could be 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be up, could be right, whatever. This we've determined is either a 3 or a 9, and the only way for that to be real is like this. So this 6, if it goes up, it goes right, so it has to go right. And now it either goes... This still needs to connect to something. So yeah, this has to be like this. Unless these two connect, because this could just be like that, right? And these two connect, and then this is a 5, which is sealed off from the world, so that doesn't work. So this needs to take that. So this is a 1. So this is a 4. So this is a 1 or a 7. So this needs to be like that. And this is either a 1 or a 2. So this needs to be a 1. And this 4 either goes down or right. We don't know yet. So now we're over here. This is either a 1 or a 2. So this is either a 4 or a 5. So it has to come out to here. Can't touch the 3. And the only way for this to get to 4 is to take both of these. So it needs to do that, which means this is a 1. That's fine. This is either a 1 or a 3. I'm in the same position. I'm in exactly the same position. What did I do wrong then? I guess these two could connect, which is maybe what I did wrong. I didn't think about these two connecting. Oh no, if they connect, this is broken. If they can't connect, I take it back. Yeah, this still has to be 1 and 4. So now this 3 goes up to there. And now this 3 takes this or this. This can't be a 6 like that, so this has to take this. This still needs its 4th. This comes up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't do that. Somewhere over here, I did something that wasn't correct. Everything I did felt correct, though. Like, everything I did felt like literally the only thing I could have done. What's up with this 3? Can this do this? And then how does this 4 connect? Yeah, it doesn't. This needs to be a 6, and it can't go anywhere from here once it's connected. So this needs to be sealed off. And the only way this can be a 4 is like this exactly. So the only way this can be a 3 is like this exactly. So that's the 4. 2, 3, 4. This 3 can just go up. This 3 can just go up. It didn't have to be an elbow. Eventually, I figure it out. Gosh, that took a bit. All right. We have not yet unlocked the capstone here. How close are we? Very far. All right, well, keep it going. Find more puzzles, click on puzzles. Oh boy. I need to take notes again. This is a 2. This is a 2. This is a 3. This is a 4. What does that mean for me? All right, so that means this 3 has to be that. The 2s have to be like that. So this is a 1. This is either a 1 or a 3. This is either a 1 or a 5. This is a 2 or a 4. This is exactly a 4. This is exactly a 3. So 4 here is like that. 3 there is like that. This is now a 1. This 4 is like that. This 2 and 1. Great. You didn't see it? Yeah, it was tricky. I don't know. I just locked into the elbow. I didn't see the straight line, as if it was a weird blind spot. I don't know. Shape bank. Oh, here we go. This is the good stuff. For there to be a difference between a 1 and a 3, it has to be for there to be a 3 difference, it has to be the 1 and the 4. So it has to be the 1 and the 4. Yo, what's up, Zero Lane? How's it going? It is definitely puzzle time. This can either be 4 and 2 or 3 and 1. But there's no room for a 4 here, so it's got to be 3 and 1. This is either a 1 or a 2, so this is either a 1 or a 2. This feels like 2, 4, and then 1s. And is! Heck yeah. What's up, Dr. Vasco? Wow. Everybody coming in to check out Artisan of Glimmith, which is good, because it's a fantastic game. And if you are not already playing Artisan of Glimmith, then you should be watching me play Artisan of Glimmith, I think is where that sentence needs to go. One or the other. Or both, even. You could be both. You've been playing Void Stranger. Okay, yeah, I've heard good things about Void Stranger. I haven't played it myself, but I've heard good things. 2s. So 2s are 2 and 4s, which means this has to be a 2, and then this has to be part of a 4. If this is a 4, this cannot be a 2 on its own, so this also has to be part of the 4, which means the 4 looks like this. This has to be at least a 2, and must be exactly a 2. This has to be at least a 2, and must be exactly a 2. This has to be at least a 2, and must be exactly a 3, and there's only one way to do that, which is that. This must be at least a 2, and must be a 3. This must be at least a 2, and must be a 2 or 4, but there's no way to fit a 4 in here, so it's got to be a 2. So this is a 2. So this is a 2. This is also a 2 here. So this could be 3 and 1, or it could be 4 and 2. This has to be exactly a 2, which means this has to be exactly a 4. Which this is the only way the 4 fits in this spot, I think. This has to be at least a 2 and must be a 3. Oh, no! This has to be at least a 2. This has to be at least a 2. And must be a 3. If this is a 2, this must be a 4. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has solved the puzzle. It's 95% puzzle and hurts your brain. Sounds like my kind of game. Freely admitted, sounds like my kind of game. Alright. Void Stranger can go on the list. I think it's been on the list, but I haven't really thought about it, so I haven't really tried to go get it at any point. But maybe someday. Actually, you know what? Let me double check to make sure I've wishlisted it. Because if I haven't done that, that is a thing I need to do. The characters and story intrigue you, sure. Void Stranger is currently on my wish list. Alright. So, it is as close to on my radar as is possible, considering I am not going out and buying it right now. But yes, I have heard things about Void Stranger, and they've been mostly positive, and it seems like the kind of game I would enjoy. Alright, what are we doing? Sure. 7. How dare. Alright, so one of these is a 1, and one of these is an 8. If this is an 8, this is a 3 and a 4, which is legal. 3, 1, 4, touching one of these two. Can't be touching this. It has to be touching this, so that's also a 1. This is a 1, and this is a 5, and this is a 1. Hey, look, it solved itself. The reason you're playing is you watched the first 10 minutes of a video essay and was convinced to try it. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's fair. 5s! Alright, I'll play your game. You've got me. Minimum 3. 3 or bigger. Okay. And boxes? Oh boy. Alright. So boxes is pretty limiting. Boxes means all of the 3s are short I's. 4s are either I's or O's. 5s are exactly tall I's. 6s have a little bit more leeway. They can be very tall eyes or 2x3s. 7s are very, very tall eyes. 8s can be 2x4s. 9s can be long or 3x3s. I think 10s are not appearing in this film, but I don't know. The kind of video that begs you to not watch before you've played the game. Okay. Okay, yeah, pretty much anytime somebody says that, I'm like, oh, actually, I'm interested in this. That sounds like maybe a thing I should play. Okay, so where do I start this mess? Here. This cannot be a 2. It cannot be a 2. So it must be exactly a 4. Which means this is an 8, and this is also a 4. Now this 4 can be that, or can be an O. This 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nope. So this 8 has to be exactly this, I think? I think so. I think this 8 has to be exactly this. So this is now a 6 or a 10. And this 4 needs to be this in order for this to be a legal area. A member of the boxy squad or the non-boxy squad. Boxy and non-boxy are both okay. I am not a boxy or non-boxy truther. I am a boxy centrist. 6 or 10. I think I like non-boxy more because it gives you more variety of shapes. And also means that you can never have a 1 or a 2, which I think is funny. 1s and 2s need not apply. This is now a 1. No, this is now exactly a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then one more in one of these directions. This could still be a 10 across. Or it could be a 6 up or down. At minimum, it's these two. But it might be like that. Or it might be like that. Or it might be like that. Or it might even be like that. But that's enough different possibilities that all I know for sure is these two. This is now either a 4 or a 10. These both having 10s as possibilities is some neat symmetry. Except if this touches that, there's no way for this to be a 10. So this must have to be a 4, either across or there, which means this cannot go up. The most it can go up is to here, which means it's necessarily these bottom ones. If this 4 is an O, then this has to be the 6 or the 10 across. If this 4 is a line, this kind of has to be the 6 up to here. And we don't know which of those is the case at the moment. But there's no way this is a 10. This is... 10 here is very wishful thinking. This is exactly... Oh, God. Switch the tools again. This is exactly a 4. Which means this is either a 6 or a 4. So this is either a 4 or 6 or 8. Can't be a 2. 2s are illegal. 2s are against the law. This could be an 8 like this. If this is an 8, it requires the 6 being up here. If the 6 is here, the 4 is across there. And this has to be an 8 in a space that it can't be an 8. So this can never be an 8. Can still be a 6, though. I guess if this 6 goes up, this has to be the 4. And if this is 10 across, this is an O. This has to be a 6. Okay, 10 across, right? That fills up this space. This is an O here. So this is now a 6. It can't go up or right, and there's nowhere to put a 2x3. So that doesn't work. So this has to be a 6 here, a 4 here. Now this is a 4, which has to be exactly that 4. So this has to be a 3 like that, and this has to be a 4 like that. This cannot be a space on its own. So this cannot be 7 this way. Because then this would have to be like a 2 or something. So this has to be a 7 like that. This space is at most a 5. So this is a 5 or a 4 or a 3. Because it has to be this horizontal line. The same here. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. This has to be at minimum a 3. Might be more. Which means this has to be exactly a 3. Because there's no way to get this boxy otherwise. So this has to be an 8. And this has to be a 4. For this to be an 8, it can't go up, has to go to the right. So it has to fill in at least this space. Which means this is a 5. Which means this 4 has to be across. So this is a 4 and this is a 4. I keep doing that. This can be a 4 across. No, this can't be a 4 across because this needs to be minimum 3 up. This can't be a 4 across. This can't be a 4 up. This has to be an O. So this has to be a 5? Something has gone terribly wrong. Oh, no, it could be a 3. It could be a 3. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. So this has to be a 5 across. This has to be an 8 like this. This has to be that. This has to be a 3 like that. So this can be another 3. Oh! Oh! Giving myself a heart attack on these puzzles. Somehow ruling out things that are necessary. Causing myself problems. Everything's okay, though. Hey, I restored the difference window. Get restored, idiot. If I then restore the window over here, we can progress to here. Or I could keep digging here and unlock whatever the big boy is of this region. Which, oh, here, this bad boy. This big ol' sucker. Damn, they're giving me like 5s out here? This has got to be a 7. I don't think I have time in the stream to actually unlock this and do the 7. So we'll work on the other side and learn a new mechanic. What is my new mechanic over here? Reveal to me your secrets. Loopy. There cannot be a point where exactly 3 borders meet. What? That's even worse than bricky. Okay, so that's a thing. Which means this needs to connect here like that. So if this draws any line, that's now 3? Yeah, so you can't even draw a T. So anytime there is a corner, it all has to be part of a region. Excuse me? Oh, it can be 4s. It can be 4s. Ooh, I do not like this mechanic. Yeah. Ooh, no good. No good. All right. It's just fill the whole thing again, right? No, because I cannot fill the... Okay. Well then, let's just make all that connect. That's probably right. And as it turns out, it is. The rule can also be stated as borders must never make a T shape. So if they're making a T, they need to be extended into a cross. I was hoping that was right. I wasn't sure it was gonna be, because I still don't understand this mechanic. But I was hoping that was right. I found a T. It's gotta be a cross. If this and this are different, then that doesn't work, right? So this has to be there. If this and this are different, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm starting to figure this out. That needs to be a wall. This has to be connected. This has to be connected. This does not have to be connected. This has to be connected. This has to be connected. And if this goes across, this makes a T. So... I'm starting to figure this out. I'm still not happy about it. This has to connect. This has to connect. These have to connect. These have to connect. This has to not connect. Likewise here. That can't connect. These now have to connect, as do these. And this can't connect. Great! Take it away! Alright, so the walls all need to connect all the way around. Start with that. This needs to be different from this. All of these need to be different from this, actually. So all of these need to connect across like that. Is that legal? No. this cannot be a third thing. So it's either gotta be this or this here. You know, as long as there's only 2 regions, loopy is fine. Presumably. There's probably a way for it to not work with only 2 regions, depending on the shape. But there definitely cannot be exactly 3 regions meeting in a corner. Okay. Start with that. And this is either these 2 connect or none of them connect. This can't connect here. This can't connect here. But you know what you can do? Oh, maybe not. Why is this wrong? Oh, because it can't touch that. Yeah. I got it. I understand. No! No, it's wrong. Why is it wrong? I guess this can take that and then be okay? Yeah, because it's still the right number here. There's the cross. Oh, I have starting points for this mechanic, but it's still a lot of like, oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Okay, fix it. Can't touch that. Can't touch that. Can't touch that. It's loopy and bricky. Oh my god. Okay, so if there's a 2, everything around it needs to be connected. Like here. That's not allowed. Yeah, here, these need to... Something is wrong. Some form of disaster has occurred. This needs to connect across. Except this can't not. This has to connect across also. Which means this needs to connect like that. Oh. No! Why? Stop being wrong! Okay, that's not connecting. That has to go across like that. Okay. Okay, I hate it. I still hate it. This mechanic is uncomfortable. Bricky was annoying enough. Loopy is extra terrible. Oh, well, that has to be a there. That has to be there. Has to be there. Cool. That has to connect. That has to connect. That has to connect. That has to connect. That has to. Oh, that cannot connect, actually. Instead of has to, how do you feel about mustn't? Also here. Also here. Really? Oh. Okay. Does the same hold true here? Let's not just start drawing things. I think this is the same problem, though. Which means that is separate. And that is separate, which means that has to be separate. Means that has to be separate, which means that has to be separate. Where else do we have T's that I need to make into crosses? Ah, right there. A T that needs to be made into a cross. A T that needs to be made into a cross. All right, I figured it out. A T. Get out. A T. Get out. A T. Are we good? Nope, we sure are not. That's a T, that's a T. Those are all T's also. Oh! Bricky plus loopy is basically a giant shape with several smaller non-touching shapes inside it. Yeah. You know, I think I am not unlocking the capstone puzzle in this region. I think I am stopping at I have done a window, and we're good. Oh, good. More ones. Huh! That's fine. Bricky and loopy, huh? Okay, I see the vision. Bricky and loopy means you just have to connect around every corner. And once you're done connecting around every corners, you can see what the puzzle looks like. Bricky loopy palisade. Alright, well that touches around, so that connects there and there. Keeps happening. Also the borders. The borders are all one thing. Fascinating. What does this mean for me? This has to connect to 3 sides, so it has to connect to all of these sides. That's a line. This has to be that. fine. Really? Okay. Good talk. Be a different color. This cannot connect here. This might connect here. This cannot. This... Yeah, aha. Cannot. Right, gotta draw around all the corners. Can this be a thing? No. This has to be part of blue. And this has to be part of yellow. That's there, so that's blue, which means this has to be blue. Which means this has to be yellow. Which means this has to be blue. Which means this has to be yellow. I'm starting to see it. There's like some initial rules that you have to follow, and then you can kind of start piecing stuff together. At least for this set. I like with the Palisades. I like what it's doing here with the Palisades. That's kind of cool. I don't think I want to touch the 4s. I think I want to find exactly 2 more lower difficulty puzzles and leave this region forever. Loopy means that. Two, 3, 4, 5? Sure. Does Loopy play well with corners? Sometimes. So if this is something that's not the 5, that's a problem. These T's must become crosses. This gets 1 more. And it can't be this one, so it's gotta be this one. If this were separate from here, that would break it. So those all need to join. Likewise, this needs to join here. Great. Oh. 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 I don't like this. Loopy means that this has to happen. Or something. Sure. Loopy means that either this happens or this happens. This can't happen. So every corner needs to be a cross. And this needs to be a box. And every instance of... Okay. Okay, and then we just make a grid. Once we have made a grid, Loopy is satisfied. Alright, I have restored the Loopy window, which means we can move on to whatever this region is. Well done, Artisan. Across all of Glimmith, your restoration progress is 380 white. Just restored. Solved. 35 gold. 0 red. And what, pray tell, does that mean? What do you suppose this information is supposed to represent? Hidden puzzles? Maybe? Because, like, this is puzzle count. And these are windows. Oh, it even tells you how many there are. There's one more at Glimmith Bridge I didn't find? Okay, hang on, buddy. Buddy. Right at the beginning of the game, there is one more puzzle I didn't find? That can't stand. Looking for that telltale, like, light shining. Progress is saved automatically. That's awful nice of you. I was relatively confident that I clicked on all the things. Like, I remembered going, you know, following the ladder down here and being like, ah, that's cool, they have a ladder. So there's a +1 here, huh? Drag the camera. Yeah. Not that secret. Honestly. But apparently more secret than I expected. I already got that one, the one that was back here. Glimmith Bridge. Yeah. Okay. But like where? Is it like in the airship? It's not on the airship. I did look at this and was like, oh, is there anything? Do you think there's like something maybe down there? But like, it doesn't seem like there is something maybe down there. It seems like there is nothing maybe down there. Oh, I'm very much shrimping right now. I am so obsessed. Okay. Somewhere in here is a puzzle that refuses to be spotted. Some disaster of a puzzle that just does not want to get clicked on. Perhaps I should have read the other info boxes. How dare you? I reserve the right to not read anything if I so desire. Is it behind the window? No. I'm like leaning forward as if that's gonna help me peek around the window or something. A mess. I'm past the hour. Yeah, but there's a missing puzzle! Can I rotate the camera at all? No. Not in the slightest. Zero rotation. Glimmith Overlook, so that's already into another window. But also, there is one missing at Glimmith Overlook. So it's not the worst idea to continue looking here either. Watching this. Behind the wall? Surely not. Alright, you know what? Oh. This unlocks stuff. This is like a whole region of puzzle I never even looked at. Oh. Come back to that later. Hedge maze? I'm probably interested in hedge maze. Match. Yeah, okay. Matchy. Secluded garden. Spiral Island. Oh boy. Another thing to read? This is neat. Man, the layout of this game is so cool. Do I know what the red monuments means? I sure do not. There is also zero need to spoil me on that. I will figure it out. Presumably. What's up, Chili Dog? How's your night going? No additional information is being revealed here. Makes me very concerned. Hello? In the tree? Surely not. No, not. Okay. Complete windows to progress on. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I saw that there's extra past gold here, because I tried to do everything in this area, and apparently I still didn't hit him. Because even at +4, that leaves me 4 away from finishing everything in the Rose Windows region. Which means I was insufficiently thorough. Click, 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 click. Which means I could have been more thorough. You don't know either. Oh, okay, okay. From the YouTube you've watched, everyone only goes to gold, but no one finished the game. Yeah, the +4 I figured out. When I started going past gold and it started giving me pluses, I was like, okay, that's cool. Extra puzzles that are not necessary in order to gold the window are pluses, that's fine. But I didn't, this is the first time it's showing me how many puzzles are in a given region. So I actually now know how many I missed. Which is the part that's bugging me. That is the part that will not let me end stream here. That update released yesterday? Oh, that's cool. That's a cool thing to have released. Good timing on my part. I want to go in the airship. I want to walk around inside the airship. Please show me the interior of the airship. So as far as the red puzzles go, it seems relatively clear to me, relatively clear, as if I know what I'm doing. I may have some inklings of what I'm doing, but relatively clear to me that when you silver a window, the next range of puzzles that get unlocked for that region are the gold puzzles. Which makes me suspect that if I fully clear a region, it might unlock yet another puzzle. It's taunting me? It is! It's being very mean. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. Pretty sure being mean to me is illegal. So my suspicion is that if I not only gold, but fully complete a region, something will happen. They made it possible to hide the check progress button. Oh, that's cool. You could be 100% wrong, but you think the goal should be to gold everything until after beating the game? Probably. I mean, I think different people are going to develop their own goals as they go through the game and decide what kinds of things they like and don't like. I have definitely had a hard time kind of melding the philosophies of depth first versus breadth first. Right? Do I want to go further into the game and unlock more mechanics? Or do I want to stick around a region and unlock harder puzzles? And that's been something I've gone back and forth on a bit. Maybe in one of these, like, wooden things? Somehow? Doesn't seem to. The other thing I'm looking for is the telltale column of light that sometimes goes through terrain. I haven't spotted one of those either. No dice. No dice. And there's also like some region mechanics that I like more than others. So if I like the region mechanic, I'm a lot more inclined to go deeper into that region and try and unlock the harder puzzles. And if I don't like that region's mechanic, I'm a lot less inclined to kind of stick around after I have opened up the way into the next region. But at a base level, my goal for this game, whether or not I solve every puzzle, is to solve every 6 or higher puzzle. I am aware of Crack the Cryptic. I mostly don't watch them, but I do use them as a reference to find cool Sudoku puzzles. I've also seen some of the streamers for this game, just generally on Twitch, be people that are kind of into sort of the Sudoku style of solving and being very, like, methodical and logical about how any individual, like, next step in a puzzle is resolved. Whereas I definitely get to the point where I'm like, oh, I see the solution. It's this. And then I just draw it. Sometimes you just draw the rest of the owl. Bremster. Okay. I'm actually not that familiar with any names, really, in the puzzle streaming communities. Generally, if I find someone who is streaming puzzle games, I will hang out just long enough to find out what the puzzle game is, and then I will go acquire the puzzle game as opposed to watch the streamer. God, where is this puzzle? What have they done here? What kind of unholy shenanigans have they pulled off with this last hidden puzzle? Alien's Rock I have heard of, but that's only because he's got a relic in Slay the Spire. Or in Peglin, rather. Sure doesn't seem to be another puzzle hanging out in this region, does there? What games do I usually play? I play a lot of puzzle games, but also a lot of strategy games, a lot of Metroidvanias, and then some other stuff here and there, story-driven games, roguelikes, that kind of stuff. A lot of indie games is probably the best way to think about the kinds of games that I play. On the bottom of the airship. I wish it was on the bottom of the airship. Then I'd know where it is. Like, I've been really, really into the kind of detective style puzzle games like Golden Idol and Obra Dinn. So if there's more games of that type, I'm probably going to track those down and play them. There's also, like, city builders that I play every once in a while. I've been playing some Timberborn. Currently in the middle of playing Oxygen Not Included. The issue could be my zoom level. I don't know that I can change my zoom level. Like, I can zoom in and out, but I don't know that there's options regarding how much I can zoom. Oh, yeah, get out of here. Hide button. Thank you. That's a cool setting. Did I wind up playing any Against the Storm? Yeah, I think I got, like, I want to say, like, 80 or 100 hours into Against the Storm, and then I started getting kind of, not stuck, but, like, enjoying myself less around Ascension 11 or 12. Not Ascension, whatever the mechanic is for it. It kind of started feeling more like a slog and less like I was interested in continuing to play on that save. I think I got to 11, and that was where I ended up stopping, like not coming back to it. And then since the DLC released, I've kind of been like, oh, maybe I should come back to it. I think it'd be fun. But there ends up being a lot of different games I want to play, so I haven't spent any more time since then coming back to it. Is there really nothing out here? How could they do this to me? How could they say that there's another puzzle and then not let me click on the another puzzle? It's so rude, honestly. Something over here, maybe? You cannot rotate the camera, no. This is not a rotate camera kind of game. I feel like after getting gold, it should just bring you to the puzzles. That would be very cool. I also wonder if maybe it just doesn't exist yet. Like, maybe after I gold every window, stuff gets further unlocked. Because, one of the things that I noticed was, you know, some puzzles aren't unlocked in a region until you gold the window in that region. So maybe there's, like, another wave of unlocks later on when... That's a neat little 5 hidden off in the corner over here. After you have done a further progress later on. Harder red puzzles pop up after beating the game. Yeah, maybe. So, some incentive definitely to do further progress and just go do other puzzles. Alright, it is in fact past my bedtime. So, I think instead of continuing to fruitlessly hunt for a puzzle that may or may not exist yet, I am just going to shake my fist at... Huh? It's got a red diamond! Perfected windows. I'm not sure what this means either. Because... Zero of 28. With the little note next to the little quill? How many is this? Is this 28? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 19, 28. Oh my god, it is. Okay. But this isn't listing completed windows, right? The 0 of 10 is not windows. The 0 of 10 is puzzles in this region. But the 0 of 28 definitely seems like it's regions. Today should have been a 30 streak stream for you. Because I swapped games. Oh no. My sympathies, Calaman. That seems odd, honestly. I wouldn't have expected it to do that because it's still the same stream. I didn't go offline. Is there a way to check what your streak is? Man, this is yet another reason to never change games and just go offline instead. Alright, well, there's a million more puzzles to solve, and I'm not staying awake for another, like, 2.5 hours to get deeper into any of the existing regions. So I think we're gonna call it here. Only a half hour past my usual stream end time. It said your 29 was saved Saturday. Oh. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's a bummer. Click. No, okay. Anyway, stop. Stop doing things. Go back to main menu. Cease playing the game. All right. We're done. I'm taking my hands off the mouse. We're done.